today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Of course, of course. I'm very excited.
Good. Let's talk about your new movie. My first question for you is how did you get to be a part of the film?
So my mum, Tanya, she's actually the EP. So I started acting, I don't know, like 8 years ago now, 9 years ago, professionally. And she came with me on my first ever big movie in the States here, The Conjuring 2. She came to set with me. She loved it, hung out with all the producers, and she was like, yeah, I want to do that same thing too. So then she started producing, and I'm so lucky that I get to work with her. It's so much fun. So yeah, that's how the movie came about.
Is there any pressure knowing that your mom is involved or like watching over, or do you kind of enjoy that having her there just, kind of as the support?
Um, it's not really pressure. It's just it's quite fun. And I don't live in Australia anymore, so it's nice to be able to go home and actually, even though we're working, actually spend time with her. And we just both love the film industry, and we just love working together. So I mean, we have our little moments, don't get me wrong, but but yeah, it's more fun and just getting to hang out with her while we're doing what we love.
Now, you shot the film in Australia, correct? How was
Yes.
that being home, being able to shoot there? How was that for you?
It was amazing. I mean, it was during peak COVID. So like 2021 COVID. So Australia, sorry, my dog is it was we had a lot of shutdowns. We had a lot of different venues and locations canceling on us like 2 days before we're meant to shoot. So it was quite stressful because I mean, this was our first time filming during the pandemic. So other than that, it was great. Like we loved everyone we worked with. I love being back home and working because it obviously makes me feel like I'm at home too. And being around other Aussies too, it's always so
Mm-hmm.
much fun.
Well, since you guys filmed this during COVID, how did you create the relationship with Juliet? Because your two characters are supposed to kind of be thick as thieves,
Right.
uh, pun intended,
Right,
in
right. Literally,
in the
literally.
movie. So, how did you guys create that chemistry?
So, I mean, Julia is such an amazing girl. We actually hung out virtually while we were both in quarantine, in hotel quarantine, before we started filming. We both had a couple auditions that we had to film, like self-tape, and obviously we were both stuck in hotel rooms in like I think she was in a different hotel to me as well. So we would like chat on the phone and do auditions with each other. So I feel like that also helped create that bond and the chemistry between us both in real life as well. So then when we got on set and we would just hang out and she would teach me like a little bit of ballet here and there. Like I'm not any good, don't get me. No. Not my thing. But she did help me. And yeah, I mean it was very easy. It was very flowy and we became very close. We're still very close to this day. So it
Mm-hmm.
was very, very easy with her.
Did making this movie make you want to take any dance lessons or get more into dancing?
I mean I love dancing, but I danced as a kid and I just was never very good. Never good. So I think my parents like gave up on me when it came to dancing. I was more the singer and the actress.
Yes.
So I mean I kind of gave up on that dream, but it was fun to be around it and seeing all these beautiful ballerinas. Like there is so much hard work and effort that goes into or like that is such a different world. So it was really, really cool to see them all train and how hard they work. It's like it's very, very impressive.
Now, what would you say was the most challenging scene for you to film in the movie?
I don't even think there was a challenge. I mean, oh, I know. The scene where Eve confronts Sam outside of the hall out like with Freddie, and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
screaming at her. I'm like, "Where are you going? Blah, 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 blah. Like you left me." That scene was so intense, and I mean, I had so much fun filming it. I think there was one time where Juliet came on set later and the director was like, okay, Lauren, we're just not going to rehearse it. We're just going to go for it. And you were going to I don't know if I can swear, but scare the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And he's like, do it, because her reaction is gonna be it's gonna be perfect. So we did it, and I flew at her, screaming at her. She was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Like, it was, I think they ended up using that take in the actual film. So that was, honestly, it was challenging just to like hype myself up and to get so angry, because Juliet's a person. So it's like, obviously I'm never going to get angry at her. But I feel like that would be the most challenging, just getting that level of aggression.
I think what it also says is there's a lot of trust there too, you know,
Yes.
from not only your director, but with the whole cast, is that they gave you like, just do it. We're not going to just go in and give it your all and scare her. And that's you. I mean, kudos to you, and kudos to your director for trusting you and being like, she can do this. So can you talk a little bit about your relationship with your director in the movie?
Yeah. Honestly, Jesse it was great to work with him. He's very much like an actor's director too. He asks us how we're feeling. It was very like level, you know, we're all on the same level. It was like talking to a friend. So it wasn't like I was nervous to ask him questions or anything. It was very easy to speak to him if I did have any questions about, you know, any scenes or what we were doing that day. So I feel like for an actor, it's very important to feel comfortable with your director as well. So I think that was awesome throughout the whole process.
How do you prepare for those intense scenes? Because it's not only physically draining, but also emotionally draining, when, especially if you have to do it take after take after take. So how do you, two-part question, how do you prep for them? And then how do you de-stress yourself after you are completed filming?
The thing is, I feel like I'm quite an emotional person, so it doesn't take much for me to get there. Like, I don't know. I've just done it I've been doing it almost my whole life. So I just I do my deep breaths. I just like really get into what I'm dealing with in the scene and how I would feel in that situation, like myself. And I would just get to a point where it would just get so heightened, and I would yell at the director and be like, I'm ready whenever you guys are. And then it would just kind of all come together. To decompress from that, it's sometimes I need a moment like of just being by myself, because when you're in such a heightened state mentally, you're kind of in a different world compared to everyone else on set. So I kind of like to be by myself for a second just to get my head leveled out, and then I'm good to hang out.
After that, you can just give me 30
after
seconds.
that, just give me a couple minutes, then I'm good.
Well, I think that's also amazing. And, you know, as we noted with your relationship with your director, it's a relationship with the crew too, knowing that and being able to see, okay, give her 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever. All right, now all right, we're ready to move on. She's approachable now.
She's approachable. She won't bite our heads off.
No. So what about Eve drew you to wanting to play her? I know you said you got involved because of your mother, but what about this character did you say, this is it, this is who I want to play?
So I've never gotten to play like the bad girl before, because I mean I have I feel like such a elegant looking face. And it was just something where I was like, you know what, like it could be a challenge for me to step into a role that I've never played before, and just something fun. Like she has her moments, and she's very deep and she's got a lot of trauma going on, but it was just so fun to play someone completely different to myself, because I am used to playing quite similar, like girl next door kind of vibes, like the Sam character. Like that's more like what I'm used to playing. So to play someone like Eve, who is so different to who I am as a person, it was just fun. And I could just let a little bit.
You did it really well.
Thank you.
Well. Your performance was extremely enjoyable. Just watching you, as you said, you have such like a approach, like you want to be friends with you, like on the surface, I'm going to come up, oh yeah, she looks approachable. And then you actually watch it, you're like, oh, maybe
like,
not.
I'm a little scared.
I changed my mind. So kudos to you. That is a hard feat to do. It's also, you know, very, very telling of what type of performer you are and how you enjoy getting into a character, both physically and mentally. So for my final question for you today is, what are you hoping fans get from the movie?
I hope that fans, honestly, to just live. Hold on, let me think. That's a good question. From like an Eve standpoint, or from just as a whole?
As a whole, from your standpoint, what are you
As a
hoping that
whole,
fans? Yeah.
never give up. Never give up on your dreams, because it can take you in a completely different direction, as it did for Sam. Never give up, keep going, because if you keep going, your path, everything will align. Everything will align, and you don't want to get off track. So if you want to do something, you just have to go for it. Yeah, I think that's it.
I love that. Now I'm curious though, because you brought up Eve. Now I'm curious from Eve, because you brought up, I was like, wait a minute, that's a good question. So real quickly, what would you say about Eve?
Eve, don't let your past define you. I think that's a good one for her, because obviously she's gone through so much as a child, and not having a mother around, and having a father not being present as much. So yeah, don't let your past define you, and again, like, stay on the track that you want to lead your life to.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Of course, thank you for having me.
No problem. And I'm super excited for us here in the States to get to see, you know, the movie finally. I know it's been
Yeah,
released elsewhere, but it's finally here.
yeah, so exciting.